Hello and welcome to Too Many Movies, the podcast where we discuss DVDs, Blu-rays, and even the occasional VHS tape. I'm your host, Hal, and today I got two former guests coming back for a very special holiday-centered episode. Puff, are you here?
Meowdy Neil.
And Mordo.
Hey, wait a second. This isn't a Nolan movie. I only came back because I want to talk about more Nolan movies with you. What the fuck is this?
Oh, you've been tricked. We're not talking about a confusing Nolan movie. We're talking about a confusing Star Wars movie.
Oh, even better.
I know, it is even better. So, I asked you two back here today because I want to talk about the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, God.
Yeah!
I know, it's the Holiday Special. So, I feel like, we're all pretty familiar with what it is, but for everybody out there who doesn't know, yes, they made a Star Wars Holiday Special, because Star Wars holidays, it's a match made in heaven. I mean, let's be real here, right? So it was a huge disaster, obviously, because, it's the Star Wars Holiday Special. And for years, it was considered lost media, where it aired once and nobody really had any access to it because George Lucas was so ashamed of it that he just genuinely tried to hide it away. But obviously, that just wasn't the case after a while, because then we got the internet and we got to see it in all its glory. And so this was not my first time watching this movie, and I assume it wasn't your guys' first time either. Puff, what were your initial reactions when you first watched the Holiday Special?
When I first watched the Holiday Special, my first thought was, this isn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be, but also I watched it right after watching the two Ewoks movies, which are, brain-numbingly bad in so many ways, that the Holiday Special was just like a standard 70s variety show with a fucking, sorry, my brain's trying, with a fucking a Star Wars skin on top of it.
Yeah.
So, compared to Ewoks, it is cinema. Absolutely.
That's a good way of putting it. Mordo, what were your thoughts when you watched the Holiday Special for the first time?
I was flabbergasted that the Incredible Hulk was not presented that night.
That would devastate anybody, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for context, in the version that we watched, the version that's on YouTube, that's how it starts, with the announcement that the Incredible Hulk will not be presented in that evening.
Yeah, William's review on Letterboxd was The Incredible Hulk did not air today.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the whole special, really. I mean, it's one of my favorite things about the whole special, but also the top comments on the YouTube video for it is just imagine setting your DVR for the Incredible Hulk that night and coming home to this.
I mean, also just the way he presents it too, the way he says it, it almost sounds mournful in a way, like he knows what's about to happen and he has no power to stop it. And then sometimes you wonder what would happen in the alternate universe where the Incredible Hulk did air that evening. It's just incredible. It is masterful storytelling. Good job, Vince.
Good job, Vince. So, one of the frustrating things, though, is unfortunately the DVD that I have the Star Wars Holiday Special on, it does not have the Incredible Hulk opening.
No!
Boo!
I know. But yeah, I'm sure some of you out there are wondering, wait, why do you have a DVD of the Star Wars Holiday Special? It was never officially released. Correct.
Good.
I have here with me a Star Wars Holiday Special bootleg DVD. So I want to just tell the story before we get to the actual content of the special, because I feel like we should talk about the content of the special, but I just want to talk about this DVD first. In that, so every year I go on vacation during the summer, and there's this flea market in the town that I usually vacation in, and I usually like to walk around and see what's there and stuff like that, because sometimes you find some really cool stuff at a flea market. And it was earlier this summer of 2022. I went to a stand where a guy was selling a bunch of posters, like posters in crates, rolled up or just flat on cardboard, just selling posters. And I was like sifting through them because I'm like, oh, some of these look pretty cool. They're like band posters, movie posters, stuff like that. But then I noticed there were things behind the crates that he wasn't like showing up front. There was like things behind the crate as if like hidden items for like people to like see behind and be like, oh, what's this? And lo and behold, I saw Star Wars Holiday Special on DVD, and I thought, holy shit, that's really funny. So I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, is this for sale? And he said, it's on the table, isn't it? And I was like, oh dear. So I asked him like, how much? And he said, $10. And I was like, abso-fucking-lutely, $10 for the Star Wars Holiday Special on a DVD like this. I've bought worse movies for more expensive than that on DVD and Blu-ray. So abso-fucking-lutely.
I mean, that's a steal.
I gave the dude a $10 bill. I walked away with it. I was so proud of myself. It was it's one of the proudest I've ever felt buying something, which might be kind of sad, but what do you know?
I mean, honestly, I felt the same way, but it was a VHS version of one of the episodes of the Super Mario Super Show, and I also paid $10 for it.
Yeah, $10 can buy a lot, it seems. So I'll get to describing the DVD in a bit. Let's talk about the actual content of the holiday special. So, Puff, you said your initial reaction was it wasn't that bad, or it wasn't as bad as you were expecting, considering like the amount of stuff you've seen before it. And it's like, yeah, that was my thoughts exactly. Like, I don't hate this movie as much as everybody else does. I don't think it's very good. I think it is a terrible, terrible special and easily one of the most embarrassing things to come out of Star Wars, but it's not the worst. Like, and maybe that is a bit of Stockholm syndrome because I've seen this about 3 times now, but I kind of like how terrible it is. Like, Puff, what would you say is your like favorite part of the special?
If we're talking unironically, I would say the last number in the Mos Eisley Cantina, because that's actually a really good and catchy song. But if we're being ironic, it's the cooking show segment with the droid that looks like they're wearing blackface instead of like having chrome. And I don't know if that's just because of the coloring or if it's just like, it was like they weren't thinking about the makeup, but mainly just for one part where stir, whip, whip.
Oh my
stir.
god.
like when you mentioned the holiday special, that is what I think of first. Because it is in my brain forever. It will never stop. Like
so iconic.
So it's funny that you say that, like, so that is famed comedy actor Harvey Korman as the Julia Child's bot, which it's funny that you say like it looks like blackface. It absolutely does. And that makes it more confusing because it's like, I thought this was a Julia Childs thing, but actually the fact that you said like it's supposed to be chrome, it's like, I guess that is what they were going for, but they messed up miserably because it does look like genuine blackface.
Yeah, no, and the only reason I know that is because when I was watching the Red Letter Media, they were describing it as a drone, and I was just, when I first watched it, I was like, is that fucking blackface, dude?
Yeah. Dude, is that fucking blackface?
No, I'm just a force stupid.
So yeah, that's very confusing, but like, it's, I mean, the whole thing is confusing because you're just like, what is happening? Like, is it malfunctioning? Like, is that the joke? Because like it starts going faster and faster.
I think
joke that like,
I think the joke is women be cooking.
I get maybe that is what it is. It's just really funny that like Harvey Korman is like, I consider him to be like a genuinely funny actor. Like, I've talked about him on the show when we talked about Blazing Saddles and how like his role in that movie is so goddamn funny. Like, he is genuinely probably one of the funniest characters in that movie. And then he's here as Julia Child's robot and just saying stir, whip, 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 stir. It's like, how varied is your comedy, dude?
I wonder if it was just written for him and like he just had, they were just like, here's like $500. This is what you're doing.
I guess it is. And what's also really funny is that he's in 2 other scenes, but we'll probably get to those in a bit. Mordo, I want to know, what is your favorite part of the holiday special?
Well, I may have mentioned this like twice on Letterboxd, but I do have some other favorite parts after rewatching it earlier. But I can definitely say I really enjoyed the animation segment, and I wish there was more of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, let's talk about the animated part then, because there is just a random part where like Lumpy, the Chewbacca's son, just starts watching a
Star Wars cartoon
on his 70s iPad, and it's like, how does that work? Like, you're watching a cartoon of Luke Skywalker, but Luke Skywalker is also a fugitive from the Empire. Like, how does that work? And did they voice the cartoons as Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo and Chewbacca? Like, how does that work?
It just hit me just now how meta that moment was. I'm like, oh shit, wait, that's a cartoon, a Star Wars cartoon in the Star Wars universe. What?
Yeah. It's so weird. And also, the animation itself is very freaky, I must say. Like, I kind of like the designs, but I'm also kind of weirded out because I'm just like, some of it's kind of neat, like, but some of it's not. Like, the stormtroopers look like the Family Guy versions of the stormtroopers. Luke and Han look like garbage. 3PO, for some reason, has like a wire as a neck. If I'm remembering correctly, like...
from what I looked up, I think if I'm correct, I think it was animated by the Canadian studio Novella, or what was it called?
Was it Novella?
I think it was. As I was looking it up earlier, I think Novella did the animation for that.
That's interesting. Yeah, because they've done a bunch of stuff.
That's true.
For some reason, the only thing I'm remembering they were a part of was Caillou. I'm sure they've done better things than Caillou, but like, I don't know. That's just the one thing I think of. I'm sorry.
They did Caillou? I never knew that. Oh, life is ruined.
Or maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. That just, for some reason, I'm associating Novella with Caillou. I don't know.
I know Novella's done some other stuff, but Caillou? What? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah, it was produced by...
Maybe I'm purposely spreading misinformation on the internet.
Yeah, Toronto-based Nelvana.
Nelvana.
I said that wrong. I'm stupid. Yeah, Nelvana.
You know what? I believed you.
I Canadian animation studio. Yeah, I'm aware of them. Yeah, I looked it up.
I knew they were Canadian.
Yeah, I looked it up while I was looking up info on the Wikipedia, just like, who did this?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I digged it because, like, I like animation and stuff like that, and part of me was just thinking,
yeah,
if there was a cartoon like this around that time, I'd watch it. I like how, like, it's because I kind of dig the art style. I like how it's a bit different, and I like how they're drawn, and I mean, animation's nice and all that. And like, if this wasn't just a segment on the holiday special and like an actual cartoon, like around the late 70s to 80s, because now this came out in 78, I probably would watch it. I probably would enjoy it. Like, it seems like a cartoon that I would see like drawn in that sort of time frame. So like, I dig it. And I'm pretty sure, I think that segment alone was added to Disney Plus recently.
Yeah, that's the other funny thing. So the whole holiday special is just, I guess, banned from ever being officially released. But they put the Faithful Wookiee, the entire animated part, on Disney Plus as its own thing. Which I get. I mean, it's probably the least bad aspect of the holiday special. But at the same time, it's just like, how random, you know?
Yeah.
See, a little bit off topic, but also, Mordo, you said you'd watch a TV series of it, right? You said you would by Nelvana, a Star Wars series, because you know what? There's an animated Star Wars series of Ewoks, baby! 2 seasons of it! 26 episodes, baby!
God. Of course you had to bring that up.
You know what? That's actually really interesting. So, like, novella, that's what I'm saying it right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Nelvana.
Nelvana, Nuella, Nutella, you know, Canadian
Nirvana.
animation. So, yeah, Nirvana. But they did Ewoks and they did the holiday special. So that's interesting that, like, I guess they did a lot of Star Wars stuff back in the late 70s, early 80s. That's interesting.
That's cool, but like, why Ewoks though? Why couldn't we get like a proper Star Wars cartoon?
Well, I'm wondering. So the other thing that the animation bit is reminding me of is that Star Wars series called Droids.
Oh yeah, that was another one I think they did.
Okay, so they also did that. All right,
Yeah.
so like animated Star Wars stuff at that time was from the same company. So even the animated part of the holiday special. So they I guess they've been doing Star Wars since day one. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. Okay, and on the topic about Nelvana, I just decided to look up to see what they've all done. So they've done like stuff like The Adventures of Tintin, The Berenstain Bears,
Yep.
Magic School Bus, Beetlejuice
Magic School Bus.
cartoon, Mrs. Spider's Sunny Patch Friends.
Oh god.
That's
I think they also-
a deep cut.
I'm sure they
And
also
they also did
Clone
the
High.
Never Ending Story TV series. Yes, there was one. I watched an episode of it
Oh,
as
there
a
was?
kid. Yeah, there was.
wow.
Oh wow.
And
I know they did Clone High as well. That's
yeah,
another
Clone
one.
High. I was about to say that. Clone
Yeah,
High.
that's-
was
that's a
there.
Canadian anime show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, Clone High. Who knew?
I'm sure they also did Heavy Metal as well, if I'm correct.
That
Or I could be wrong. I
I'm
don't know.
That-
looking through their franchises
Hmm.
right now. So let me look. Because I'm not
Heavy
sure
Metal,
if I
I'm not-
see it.
I'm not too sure.
Or am I thinking of Wizards? I don't know. I know they.
No,
I know they done
Wizards
some.
was Bakshi.
Oh.
Wizards was
guys,
Ralph Bakshi.
guys! They also did the Donkey Kong Country cartoon.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
of course they did.
Yeah. Keep hitting those fucking home runs, Nelvana.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
know,
seeing
they-
Heavy Metal, but this is also the franchise side and not everything they've worked on. But I
Right.
feel like that's would be going into too far of a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, but honestly, Heavy Metal I can kind of understand because the animation part does look like kind of late 70s, early 80s kind of fantasy animation. So like, yeah, you're thinking Heavy Metal. Yeah, you said Wizards. Like it does kind of look a lot like the animation in Wizards, but Wizards and a bunch of other Ralph Bakshi stuff was obviously Ralph Bakshi. So like stuff like Fire and Ice, The Lord of the Rings, and I'm blanking on a bunch of others. I've seen a bunch of his other movies, but yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. And yeah, it just looks like that. It does look really neat. I don't know if I'd say it's good animation, but it is an interesting style. I do kind of dig it, and it is nice to stop looking at the live action bits sometimes, because you kind of need a break from the cheesy 70s visuals.
For
Of
even
the-
more cheesy 70s visuals.
Yeah, I dig the 70s animation more than I dig the live action 70s. Although I do dig the live action bits. Well, dig is such a strong word, I must say.
I will say though, if you really think about it, is this considered like Boba Fett's first introduction to the main cast? When they first
Unironically,
meet
yes.
him?
This is Boba
Oh my
Fett's first
God.
appearance. And
Yeah,
figure
so
no, continue, Hal, and then I'll get into my point.
Well, I was going to say the DVD that I have of it advertises on the back, like features the 15-minute animated short with the first appearance of Boba Fett. So like,
15-minute?
yeah,
We could've had
it's a 15-minute long
This goes as a
animated
full
bit.
episode. Oh man.
The holiday special is 2 hours, dude. Like,
It's an hour and a half.
Let's do it. Like an hour and a half.
well, the running time on the DVD says 2 hours.
Oh,
but,
really?
I mean,
Again, I watched the
maybe-
one on YouTube.
yeah, maybe the fan who made this DVD just said it as 2 hours because it's as a joke, like, oh, it's so long, and it is. But
God.
yeah, so this is the genuine first introduction to Boba Fett, which is really funny because people love Boba Fett. I've never been a fan of Boba Fett, but like that's a whole other discussion. But I mean, I thought he was kind of neat in this special. Like, you're just like, oh, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy?
Yeah, I was confused at first. Like, wait, he was an ally? What happened to him? I'm like, oh, right, he tricked him. Okay, yeah, we see it now.
Yeah, he tricked him.
I guess I missed that when I first watched it. I'm like, I was confused, and then I rewatched it. I'm like, okay, yeah. All right.
And I think it's the only time that Boba Fett actually talks in any of the Star Wars media, at least until Book of Boba Fett.
That is true, because I mean, he gets like 5 lines in Empire, and then he's a kid in Attack of the Clones. So, and then he gets 1 line in Return of the Jedi. It's
yeah.
Oh! Tried to do the Wilhelm scream. That was bad.
No, he didn't get the Wilhelm scream in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, he just had that.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke.
Oh, yeah, it's a joke. The Wilhelm scream is in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
I've seen that movie more times than I've seen The Son.
Actually, something interesting I learned is that the Wilhelm scream actually became popular because of Star Wars. That was the because basically it was in one movie from the fucking 50s, I think. And then basically some film students were putting it in their short films as a meme, and then one of those students put it in Star Wars, and that became a running gag. And in Return of the Jedi, they're trying to shut down I forgot what it's called, but the thing in Endor, like the thing that does the shield on the
shield
Death
generator.
Star. Yeah. Sorry, words hard. The guard that they shoot actually does a impression of the Wilhelm scream as he's falling behind it. It's the sound editor.
Yeah, so that guy who's just like freeze, and Han Solo like throws something at him, and he like jumps over the
that guy
over the railing. He's like, oh,
yeah, that guy.
Like, that was an impression.
No, he was trying to do an impression of the Wilhelm scream.
That's interesting. That's fascinating. I didn't know that.
That's cool.
I learned it because of the H Bomber,
the
H Bomber guy video on the Roblox Oof.
Okay,
he talks about the Wilhelm scream.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's really cool that he was trying to do an impression. You know what? If we could stop using the actual Wilhelm scream and people just put in their own impressions of the Wilhelm scream, I'd be less annoyed by movies putting in the Wilhelm scream.
That's dedication.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, that's awesome. So, so you had said, Puff, that the B. Arthur cantina scene was probably one of your unironic favorite scenes.
Yeah, like I don't know how to describe it, but the song's actually really good. She's a good singer. I like how they incorporate samples from the actual cantina theme into it. It's kind of fun to just see like the cantina doing its cantina thing.
Are you talking about Good Night but Not Goodbye song?
I think
that's what it's called.
The one
that's
one before it
bit.
ends. That's like it's actually unironically pretty good.
Yeah, I liked
think so
it.
Too.
When I watched it again, like I kind of enjoyed it. Like I know she keeps rhyming "friend" again, but like honestly, I like the song. Like it's kind of grown on me. It's like again, I think another one of my favorite parts that I really didn't talk about on Letterboxd, but I've grown to like it.
Yeah, the Empire is shutting us down. Like, I think that's a really neat scene. Like, you don't see a lot of that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot in Star Wars that you don't often see until, later installments or in the series. But, like, I think that's a really good indicator of, like, just how evil the Empire is, just how, malicious they are. And it's a good way of showing, like, life in the Star Wars world without having it relate to like the Skywalker saga, which again, I love the original trilogy and everything that it does in those 3 movies, but like it is interesting seeing the Star Wars universe from a perspective that isn't the Skywalker trilogy. So that is a really cool aspect. And yeah, like you said, B. Arthur, she's a really good singer. And I think she's really funny. I mean, obviously I'm a closet Golden Girls fan, but like it's really just
not anymore.
Just delivers it. Yeah, that's true. No, I like the Golden Girls. What can I say? They're funny.
Nothing wrong with that. I didn't even
know. I
know.
What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say? But but she's really funny, and I feel like her delivery is just so sarcastic, and brilliant. Like, it works. Even though she's in a stupid costume surrounded by people in even stupider costumes, she's still she's still giving it her all, which you gotta respect. Yeah.
I will say, another song I actually did enjoy, like another favorite segment of mine, I think was Light the Sky with Fire, I think it was called. That song was a banger to me when I was watching it earlier.
Was that the Jefferson Starship song?
I think it was, yes.
Yeah, so the band that just randomly shows up, like that's the scene where Art Carney is just like, "Hey, Imperial Guard, watch this," and he starts watching like Jefferson Starship music video, which I think it's really funny that they put Jefferson Starship in this special. I'm like 110% sure they just did that because the word Starship is in their band.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No other reason.
But yeah, unironically, just the song alone, it kind of slaps. It's a banger.
Yeah, it is reminiscent of like the 70s classic rock, which I'm a huge fan of. So I think it does seem like it's a little rushed because it's made for a fucking Star Wars holiday special, but for what it is, it's pretty catchy for what it is.
I feel bad that I watched it all like on 1.5 speed because I wouldn't hear it in the actual speed because I just wanted to get through the special.
So that's the other thing too, is like when we watched it, when we watched it for Wheel Night, we did it at 1.5 speed. And then when we watched it recently, we also did it again at 1.5 speed because we realized, this special is only watchable if it's at like a higher speed than normal because it goes on and we just want to get through it, you know? Like, and it is still funnier, like especially the Stir Whip scene.
Where absolutely like a maniac.
Going like 90 miles an hour. Yeah, it's like it kind of adds to the comedy of it all, just the fact that it's so fast. But like, it also makes it more watchable. Like, I don't think I could ever watch this at not 1.5 speed.
Holiday special speed 100%.
Nightcore holiday special. Well, we also need to mention for anybody who hasn't watched this special, because this is a core experience of watching the special. You follow Chewbacca's family, and they only speak in Wookieese, I think is what the language is called. I'm not that much of a virgin. I do get bitches, so I wouldn't know. But there's no subtitles. There's no subtitles. You do not know what these bitches are saying the entire time. It's just
it's visual
the
storytelling.
I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I only know how to be whore and eat potato chip. That is all I know.
Don't you know that when Mala, the female Wookiee, looks on in solace, that means that they're happy?
She's totally not on barbiturates.
For anyone who's just coming into this thinking like, it's the gang, maybe like trying to save Christmas from Darth Vader or something like that, like some cool special where you follow the game. No, it's just a fucking Chewbacca family sitcom for over a fucking hour with like musical segments you would see like on the Muppet Show or some shit.
Yeah, and occasionally Luke Skywalker shows up, and occasionally Princess Leia shows up,
they barely get any screen
Harrison
time.
Ford shows up.
They barely get any screen time. What the fuck? It's just a Chewbacca special. Wait, so Chewbacca doesn't even get any screen time, just his family.
Yeah. Another thing I want to bring up is something that just always makes me laugh when I watch the holiday special is thinking of it in the context of when it came out. Because this was before The Empire Strikes Back. And so imagine, because I think that's part of why the reception is so infamously bad. Because imagine you're some fucking teenager, right? And you love Star Wars. Because everybody loves Star Wars. There's a Star Wars disco song that hit the top 100 of the fucking Billboard chart. Like, it was a fucking disco remake. Honestly, that slaps. It accidentally became the #1 song of my year, according to Apple Music Replay. So, whoops. But
it is a good song.
It is a good song. It's a banger. But imagine going from Star Wars, which it's corny, it's goofy, but it still takes itself pretty seriously. And then you're like, I can't wait to be in this world again. I can't wait to be with these characters again. And then you get this. And you're just like, what the fuck is this? This isn't Star Wars. But then imagine going from that and then fucking Empire comes out.
Yeah.
How can I
The
watch this? There's no
whiplash
stars,
from
there's
all
no
of those
wars.
things. Being a Star Wars fan at that time must have been wild.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
God.
being a Star Wars fan at that time must have been wild because you had genuinely no idea what this thing was. You're just like, I like it. And the studios are just like, what is this? Just throw something together. It's like we were still trying to figure out what Star Wars was at that time. So anything just was up for game, I guess.
Yeah, no, and it like something I feel like people don't realize at the time because people associate Star Wars as such a nerd thing. Boy, back in that time, it was just a general pop culture thing. Everybody had seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's part of why it's so big now. Like with like the level of dedication of its fans. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just the guys who were like really into like nerd shit. It was everybody.
Yeah, no, everybody. Like my grandmother loves Star Wars. My mom loves Star Wars. These are people who I don't associate as film lovers, but they love Star Wars. Like it was a huge thing. I mean, it still is a huge thing, but you know, which I would never show my grandmother or my mom the Star Wars holiday special. They'd like fall asleep within 5 minutes of it. And they just wouldn't get it. I mean, not to be all Rick and Morty on this, but you do have to have a high IQ to understand the Star Wars holiday special. Let's be real.
It is true. You have to have a big brain. Only big wrinkly brains understand the glory that is the and nuance that is a Star Wars holiday special. It truly gives us a glint. It's one of the most imposing that the Empire has ever been in any movie.
Exactly.
And like kind of unironically, it's just the tone of everything else off-puts it. But if you like edited it the right way, you could absolutely make it kind of terrifying, like this like war drama.
Yeah. It's funny how Rogue One tried to be the war drama of the series, but I think this movie did it better.
I think in some, I actually like Rogue One. That's the thing. So
it has been a while since I've seen Rogue One, so I might be too
Rogue
harsh
One
on it.
is like the one thing other than the Mandalorian I genuinely still enjoy from the Disney ones. Like it's not perfect, but I do think it is a good look into like the Rebel side of things.
Yeah.
Like before,
I still need to see Andor.
but the issue for me when it comes to Star Wars right now is I know everybody likes Andor. I have no interest in watching Andor.
Yeah.
Disney kind of soured my thing where I can't even watch like the second season of Mandalorian. I'll watch the movies all day long outside of like last 3. My opinion's are sour towards The Force Awakens too, so like
Yeah, no, I mean James was saying like Andor's good, and like I mean he wasn't a fan of Kenobi, the same as me, so like I'm thinking, oh, if he likes Andor, maybe I'll like it, but I don't know, I just haven't gotten around to it.
Fair enough.
In any case, was there anything else you guys wanted to say before I talk about this DVD some more?
I think I'm good.
I will say though, this is better than Rise of Skywalker.
Unironically,
Undoubtedly.
literally Ewoks is better than Rise of Skywalker. Like,
True!
there is a bar, and
No bar. So
it was
true.
set so low by the fucking Rise of Skywalker that it's in the what is it called? The Mariana Trench?
Yeah, the Mariana Trench. Yeah, exactly. It's oh man, Rise of Skywalker. I don't know if I like this more than The Last Jedi. I'm still debating that, but I definitely will say this is better than Rise of Skywalker. Like Rise of Skywalker, that's a whole other topic for another episode. But my God, I would sooner watch the holiday special at normal speed before I watch the Rise of Skywalker again.
I would rather basically
if
you gave me 2 options and one was watch Rise of Skywalker or trap me in a room with my eyes strapped open, fucking Clockwork Orange style, and playing the Ewoks movies on repeat for 24 hours, and I would take the Ewoks over Rise of Skywalker.
Good heavens.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, before we wrap up, I just want to tell you guys more about this DVD. So,
oh yes.
The back of it is really funny. So it has the plot synopsis listed on the back. You guys want to hear that?
Yes, please.
Yes. Can you also send images later?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll post images. I'll obviously have it during the episode. But yeah, I'll show you. I'll send you guys specific images. But
All right, I am very curious.
yeah, the plot. Han Solo and Chewbacca are on their way to the Wookiee world of Kashyyyk for Life Day, in parentheses. Not in parentheses, in quotations. A special holiday for Wookiees. However, they find themselves in trouble when attacked by a couple of Imperial Star Destroyers. Meanwhile, on Kashyyyk, Chewbacca's family, consisting of his wife Mala, father Itchy, and son Lumpy, are anxiously awaiting Chewie's arrival, but find themselves in trouble too with an Imperial brigade searching for premises for members of the rebellion. Finally, everyone is reunited and the Wookiees celebrate their special holiday along with their friends, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and the droids.
They spoiled the whole thing!
And R2-D2. Yeah, they fucking spoil it. What the fuck?
How dare you spoil the Star Wars holiday special? Have you no shame?
Oh man, you're telling me there's a good ending to this? Throws headset. Because that's
there
what
is
I am
no
wearing.
good ending.
Oh,
to
now I
the
can't
holiday
watch
special.
the movie anymore. I know what happens.
I know what happened. They also have the characters listed, so let me list off the characters.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Chewbacca, Mala, Lumpy, Zondad? Who the fuck is Zondad?
Who? Oh, his name was Itchy.
I don't know.
What?
No, it says Zondad.
I fucking love Zondad. He's my favorite Star Wars character
Best
of all
character.
time.
Better
I
than
can't wait
Han
for
Solo.
Zondad, a Star Wars story, to come out, and it's a 9-episode TV series on Disney Plus.
Better than
Yeah,
Glub
so-
Shitto.
Yeah, so Zondad, Han Solo, Itchy, Luke
there he
Skywalker,
is.
C-3PO, Princess Leia, R2-D2, and Darth Vader. Zondad? Like, is that Art Carney's character? I don't remember.
Like the human guy in the Ewoks.
Yeah, it would have to be, because I can't imagine.
not-
Is it the Harvey Korman character? So, like,
Did I say
yeah, Harvey
Ewoks? I
Korman
meant
also
Wookiees.
played.
I'm stupid.
No, well, because all three of the other Wookiees are listed as Mala, Lumpy, and Itchy. But, like, is it the robot played by Harvey Korman? Is it the guy at the bar played by Harvey Korman? Is it B. Arthur's character? I'm like being gaslit by this fucking DVD right now.
We
I
are
don't know
all
what the fuck is going
Zondad.
on. I guess we're all Zondad. Okay.
Alright.
It also says that it first aired on CBS TV on November 17th, 1978. So that's the day the world changed.
God.
Which, so I got to tell you guys. So the other thing that's interesting about this DVD. So when you pop it into the DVD player, it's set up like the Star Wars DVD menus from the early 2000s. I don't know. Did you guys grow up with like the Star Wars movies on DVD?
I borrowed them from the library.
I mean, I
Okay.
never really owned them all on DVD besides Revenge of the Sith I found at a mall like months ago.
See, the thing is,
Okay.
my family, my dad owned all of them, right? But they were all on VHS, pretty much, except for, like,
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. But I would borrow them from the library to watch on myself, because I wasn't allowed to, like, take movies off my dad's shelf.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
so if you remember, the way the menu is set up on those DVDs is like it'll be like at a setting from the movie. So let's say, for example, The Empire Strikes Back. The menu for Empire Strikes Back sometimes would be like let's say Cloud City, and it's like the shot of the Millennium Falcon on the on the fucking landing pad in Cloud City, and then you have the options of like play, chapters, options, special features, whatever, and then it's like playing like stuff in the background. It's like playing like shots from the movie in the background. They do the same thing here. They have, so the menu for this DVD is the matte painting shot of Chewie's house in Kashyyyk, and then they have the same font, I shit you not, for play movie, chapters, options, special features as they do in the Star Wars DVDs.
Oh, that's kind of sick, though.
It's really
Yeah,
sick.
that's-
It's really fucking cool.
Whoever made that, they put some
Um,
dedication to that. I gotta
I-
give
They did,
I
yeah.
feel like
gotta
the thing
give props
is,
to
like,
that.
the people who make
Yeah.
these have a genuine love for Star Wars, because there's nobody that's making that to make money off of it. It is purely just to spread the love and joy that is the Star Wars holiday special. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Also, I want to bring up, just really before we do it, there is a reference to the Star Wars holiday special, which is how I knew about it, in the music video for White and Nerdy by Weird Al Yankovic. And it has it where they hand it to him sussy-like, and it's in VHS form. And I've heard that it was circulated by recordings of VHS before the era of the internet. The internet just made it more easily accessible. And I actually wanted to bring that up. And I forgot.
Yeah, no, I remember that part from the White and Nerdy video too. How he's just like he goes up to a guy and it's like a drug deal, but then like he opens up the bag and it's a VHS copy of the holiday special.
That's
such a good gag.
I just thought, what if Weird Al was in the holiday special?
Oh man, that would be great. I think he was a little bit too young for it at the time because I don't think he would.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think he did shit until like the 90s. No, not the 90s, the 80s.
No, he was. It was early 80s when he became big.
I should have known. I watched the Weird Al biopic, and it's 100%
exactly.
true.
You should have known.
I'm sorry.
You should have remembered. He died in 1985.
Yeah, by Madonna, the leader of the drug cartel.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, if he was around at that time, like he would have absolutely been in the holiday special.
He would have savored it.
If they had made the holiday special afterwards, like. Yeah, he would have absolutely been involved in some way, shape, or form.
The good universe where they did it after Weird Al became big and he made it good.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
My Letterboxd review for it, if so, would have been just Weird Al Yankovic is canon to the Star Wars universe.
I mean, Weird Al Yankovic is actually canon to the My Little Pony universe. His pony Sona is married to Pinkie Pie.
Oh my god,
right.
Don't remind me.
He is also canon in the JoJo universe.
Oh yeah, because that's like the end. Yeah, because when Joseph is revived and and then Jotaro is like freaking out that he might accidentally be Dio because Joseph was pulling a prank on him. He asked like about like who fucking Weird Al.
Who made the parody Eat It? Weird Al Yankovic. Good grief, it is
Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of funny because it's insane to me that with all the stand names being band names, the one thing that stays the same is Weird Al Yankovic in the dub and the sub.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a minute since I've seen part 3. I forgot, but yeah, I remember now.
Admittedly, part 3 is not great, so I know those are going to be some fighting words if there's JoJo fans in your comics, or in your comments. Ugh. But I don't care for part 3.
That's okay. I mean, I have my issues with part 3, but you know what? JoJo's up for another episode, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no.
But anyway, the other thing I wanted to bring up is that there are special features on this DVD.
Oh hell
yeah! So one of them was they have the TV promos for the holiday special. So it obviously aired on CBS, and there's this one TV promo where Alan Alda, who famously played Hawkeye on the TV show MASH. I don't know if you guys are familiar with MASH.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so there's a TV promo for CBS where he's just like, "Hey CBS, what's on this Friday?" or something like that. And then like the announcer goes, "The Star Wars Holiday Special." And it's like, "Holy shit, that is the funniest fucking thing in hindsight." Like they were setting this up for they were promoting this and they're just like, "Oh, the Star Wars Holiday Special. Get excited." It's like do they know?
Do they know? Yeah.
Know. It's so funny.
Okay, but
and then there's other stuff. They have
did they know about the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, did they know that the Incredible Hulk would not air tonight? They also have they had like clips of certain actors and people who worked on the holiday special, like asking them about it. So I have a couple of clips of like Harrison Ford being asked about it. Like there's this one clip of him going on like Conan, and Conan's just like, "Oh, what if I told you I have a clip of it ready to cue?" And Harrison Ford goes to like choke him. And then there's this one really funny part where like Anthony Daniels, who did C-3PO, is being interviewed. And the interviewer is like, "What were your thoughts on working on the holiday special?" or something like that. And Anthony Daniels goes like, "Oh, cut tape. We can't talk about that." Like, obviously in a joking way, but it's just so funny how like even he's aware that like, oh, this is such a secret special. Like nobody should know about this. It's like, let's not talk about that.
I think it's incredibly funny, but I honestly am a little bit saddened by it because I'd love to know more of the story behind it, but everybody's so ashamed of it that they don't want to talk about it. And it's like, I understand, but at this point it's such a cultural landmark that I please, before you guys die, because you're all old as fuck, like, give us something. Give us something, because, like, please, like, I don't want the story behind this to die, like, when you
can't
guys
run away
do.
from the truth forever.
I want to know why it turned out this way. I want to know, like, every single step. Like, was there meddling? Did George Lucas just not give a shit? Like, was it the budget? Like, I want to know how it became this, of all things. Like, what were they thinking?
Yeah, what were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
I think it is starting to get a little more traction now where people are more open. I don't know about George Lucas, probably not.
He would like literally do anything to like destroy every copy that exists in the world. He would probably never talk about it, but everybody around him, I hope, would at least.
If that's so, Hal, put your copy in a safe.
I absolutely am. So yeah, I guess that I'm pretty much done talking about it. So like I want to say like I am absolutely 110% keeping this DVD. Like, well,
at least until George Lucas breaks into your house.
Yeah, well, if Mr. Lucas breaks into my house, I'll be like, "Hey, it's you," and he just punches me in the face and takes their DVD away from me. I'm just like, "Mr. Lucas, it's an honor," rubbing my face.
$10 down the drain.
$10 down the drain.
No, he leaves you $10 for it.
Here's your money back.
Honestly, $10 is like a penny to him, so, you know. But yeah, no, I think this is too special. So obviously I have my problems with the special. I will undoubtedly say, like, it's a bad special. Like, it is so terrible. But, like, I love it because it's bad. Like, it's so embarrassing that people thought this was a good idea. And it's also really fun just having this fan-made DVD that somebody put some effort into just because, you know, studios and George Lucas don't want it like this. It's like, well, now I definitely want to own it. Like the mystique of it just being denied viewership until, you know, I feel like a lot more people have seen it nowadays than they did back in the day. But like, you know, it's because of the mystique of it all. I feel like if they didn't double down and try to hide it, like people would not be as fascinated with it like they are, you know?
Oh, no, exactly. I think that's part of, like, the allure of the holiday special. Because it's kind of like with Nuki, too, right? Because it is nearly impossible to get your hands on Nuki, right? Partially because of Red Letter Media, but also just because, like, it's fucking Nuki.
Yeah.
People could, if it was easily accessible, I don't think people would nearly be as interested in Nuki. We would just look at it and like, oh, this is a really bad fucking children's movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is one of the main reasons I want to keep this, is just because I'm told I'm not supposed to keep it. It's just like, well, now I want to. I mean, that's the allure with a lot of movies. Whenever people are just like, oh, we're not going to show you this because we don't want you to see it. It's like, well, now I want to see it.
Oh, no, exactly. That's part of why I started getting into French extremism with stuff like a Serbian film. And actually, when I first initially got into it, I watched The Human Centipede, and I was so disappointed by The Human Centipede that I, like, literally was so mad. I felt cheated because everybody was saying, oh, this is the most disgusting thing you'll ever see. And I just kind of looked at it and I was like, no, it's not. These people are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They could have easily gotten out of it if they wanted to, but there's also just barely any gore. It just sells you on the concept of it. I've never watched the sequels. I heard they get worse, but I don't care enough. The Human Centipede one was disappointed enough.
I once worked with a guy who said his favorite movie ever was The Human Centipede 2, which I always thought was really funny because it's like, not only is your favorite movie a Human Centipede movie, but like, it's not the first one. The sequel is your favorite movie ever. Like,
the sequel was really meta, though. Like, all of them the sequels are really meta. The third one takes place in a fucking prison.
Oh boy. You know, the kings of exploitive cinema, a Serbian film, a Human Centipede, the Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? All right. Was there anything last minute you guys wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, I think I'm pretty much good.
Mordo?
You better bring me back for a good movie next time.
Okay, but if I get brought back, can we just talk about Ewoks?
Yeah, absolutely. Your next episode
Hell
can
yeah.
be the Ewoks movies. I actually own them on DVD.
Ewoks, I say ironically. And
so yeah, I'm keeping the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's a fine addition to my collection,
Heck
if you
yeah.
will. All right. Puff, is there anything you want to plug or shout out?
You can follow me on Twitter at the real 100gex, spelled GEX, because I thought it was really funny and clever. But also, you can subscribe to me on YouTube at One Tough Puff. I also have a Tumblr, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, I'll be sure to put your links in the description. I think I also put your Letterboxd in last time. But yeah, I'll make sure of that this time too. Mordo, anything you want to plug or shout out?
Well, just the usual stuff like I did before, my Twitter, Letterboxd, YouTube, of course, and I also have a Tumblr now in case, Twitter crumbles. Always have that as a backup. I don't use it often, but, I just have it. I should use it often, though. But, I have it in case, if Twitter explodes itself, I'll remember you all.
Remember you all in therapy.
I'll remember you all in therapy.
Quote by Dr. Eggman himself.
Fun fact, goodbye everyone, I'll remember you all in therapy by Plankton. That quote, that was my senior quote for the yearbook.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a way to go out.
I know.
I was really into Game of Thrones when I graduated. So while my yearbook did not do yearbook quotes for my cap, I had it in the game. I had made it basically say Game of Loans, but in the Game of Thrones font.
That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. All right, that about does it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And always remember, stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir.